I'm Benjamin Gosnell, and I'm here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and my greatest desire is to live a quiet and peaceable life on this earth, even if my world has been turned upside down over the past 2 years by unprecedented emergency powers being predicated upon COVID-19. Unprecedented emergency state that we now find ourselves in. If your world has been turned upside down these last 2 to 2.5 years, go to buythepeople.one. Go to tell your story. There's a button there that says tell your story. Print out the PDF, and there's a form there that you can fill out and submit to us, or just use for your own use to tell your representatives that you're calling for these emergency powers being predicated on COVID-19 to be dissolved immediately. A lot of needless harm has happened to our communities over these past several years, and the National Emergencies Act was extended on March 1st indefinitely at this point. March 25th, the state of emergency is set to run out in Hawaii, but if you look at your watch, we are still living under these emergency powers and these emergency orders that are being predicated upon COVID-19. So I'm still calling for, and I'm calling you to still call for emergency powers being predicated on COVID-19 to be dissolved immediately. There's representatives in Hawaii that represent us that are calling for measures into the future. One of them even has a 10-step plan that calls for digital passports, vaccine passports, isolation centers, things that have been very divisive and very damaging already in our communities. And even if these emergency powers lift, they're looking to legislate things into the future that set up these systems to divide and damage our communities more. We need to lay aside some of these things, lay aside some of these nitpicky issues, and be able to have leadership that allows us to come together, allows us to take responsibility, to have a voice to our representatives, and finds unity even with those we disagree with on this issue or that issue, medical procedure or not medical procedure, to find unity in these things to create better solutions for our community as a whole and not create division. There's been so much needless damage in our communities, and that's why I am doing this, because I've seen so much needless damage caused by leadership, and I don't want to see it continue. We can't talk anymore. Even if these emergency powers are lifted, we need to act. We need to stand up for our future generations, for our communities now, and vote, and do what you can, say no to different measures, because a lot of the damage that's been done is going to go into the future. A lot of the things that are going to be perpetuated, and a lot of the conversations are going to be perpetuated into the future that are divisive and frustrating and divisive and damaging in our communities. So we want to rebuild our communities. We want to put them back on their foundations. So to do that, we have to take personal responsibility. We have to find more unity, and we have to continue to end control and not allow any more control in our communities. I'm Ben, and I'm still calling for the emergency powers that are still in place, being predicated on COVID-19, to be dissolved immediately.